Alabama, the White Thang. Lurking in the dense forest of Alabama is a spectral creature known as the White Thang. Towering over 7 feet tall and covered in shaggy white fur, this eerie entity has been reported for over a century. Its most chilling trait, the blood-curdling scream that sends shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. Stories of the White Thang date back to the early 1900s, originating in Appalachian communities and spreading through generations. Witnesses describe it as a fleeting figure incredibly fast, sometimes moving on all fours, other times standing upright like a ghostly guardian of the wild. Some accounts claim its piercing wail sounds almost human, as if it's crying out in agony. Historians believe the legend may have been born from a misidentified wildlife, such as albino bears or mountain lions, but the sheer number of reports suggests something stranger. To this day, hikers and hunters still speak of glimpses of white blurs disappearing into the trees, leaving behind nothing but eerie silence. Alaska, Kushtaka. In the icy wilderness of Alaska, the Tlingit people speak of the Kushtaka, a sinister shapeshifter that blurs the lines between man and beast. Resembling a hybrid of a human and an otter, this deceptive entity is said to lure lost travelers to their doom with haunting, human-like cries. According to the legend, the Kushtaka preys on those who become disoriented in the dense forest or along the freezing rivers. Some say it mimics the voices of loved ones, drawing victims deeper into the wilderness, where they vanish without a trace. The most terrifying part? Some believe the Kushtaka doesn't just kill, it transforms its victims into creatures like itself, trapping their souls forever. Some claim the tale was created to prevent children from wandering too close to dangerous waters, but modern-day reports suggest otherwise. Fishermen and hikers still speak of eerie encounters, strange noises, shadowy figures moving just beyond sight, and the unsettling feeling of being watched in the Alaskan wild. Arizona, the Mogollon monster. Towering at over 7 feet tall and covered in dark matted fur, the Mogollon monster has been Arizona's very own Bigfoot for centuries. Its origins trace back to Native American lore, where it was described as a wild, menacing creature that stalked the forests of the Mogollon Rim. Unlike Sasquatch, this beast is said to have glowing red eyes and an unbearable stench, described as a mix of decay and skunk. Witnesses report hearing bone-chilling howls at night, along with strange, inhuman whistles echoing through the trees. Some have even found massive footprints in the wilderness, far too large to belong to any known animal. While skeptics dismiss it as a bear or misidentified wildlife, local campers and hikers swear something unnatural roams the pine forest. Whether a flesh and blood creature or an ancient spirit, one thing is certain: the Mogollon monster isn't just a story, it's a warning. Arkansas, the Gowrow. Unlike the ape-like cryptids of other states, Arkansas harbors something far more monstrous, the Gowrow. This reptilian terror is said to be 20 feet long, with razor-sharp tusks, enormous claws, and a spiny ridge running down its back. First reported in the late 1800s, the beast allegedly lived in caves, emerging to devour livestock, and sometimes people. One of the most famous accounts tells of a man who claimed to have killed a Gowrow in 1897. According to the story, he discovered a massive skeleton, but before it could be examined, it mysteriously vanished. Some believe the tale was an exaggerated frontier folklore, but unexplained disappearances and eerie sightings near Arkansas's caves keep the legend alive. Even today, reports surface of strange lizard-like creatures in the Ozarks. Whether the Gowrow is a relic of prehistoric times or simply a tall tale, the fear it instills is very real. California, the Fresno Nightcrawler. Beneath the palm trees and bright lights of California's Central Valley, something strange has been caught walking in the streets. Something not quite human and not quite explainable. Known as the Fresno Nightcrawler, this bizarre entity has become one of the state's most unsettling modern cryptids. The first known sighting came from a home security camera in Fresno in the late 1990s. The footage showed two tall, white, spindly-legged creatures gliding eerily across a front lawn in the dead of night. No arms, no visible torso, just long legs and a hauntingly slow, deliberate gait. Since then, similar figures have been reported in nearby areas, including Yosemite National Park. Some believe the Nightcrawlers are extraterrestrial, possibly scouting or studying humanity. Others suggest they are spirits or beings tied to Native American folklore, protectors of the land that reveal themselves only when disturbed. Their movements are so unnatural, their appearance so surreal, it's no wonder they've become an internet obsession. Skeptics argue it's nothing more than puppetry or clever video trickery. But to those who have seen the footage, or claim to have seen the creatures in person, the Nightcrawler is all too real. A silent, watching presence that walks among us when we least expect it. Colorado, the Slide Rock Bolter. High in the Rocky Mountains, legends tell of a beast so massive it can swallow an entire group of travelers in one go. The Slide Rock Bolter. This monstrous well-like cryptid is said to cling to steep cliffs, waiting for unsuspecting prey below. When the moment is right, it releases its grip and slides down the mountainside, devouring everything in its path. Miners and loggers in the late 19th century swore this creature was real, with entire groups vanishing under suspicious circumstances. Some claim to find massive skid marks in the rocky terrain, evidence of the bolter's deadly descent. Skeptics say the tale was simply a warning for travelers to be cautious on the treacherous slopes, but the eerie stories persist. Could an undiscovered predator still lurk in Colorado's peaks, hidden in plain sight? Connecticut, the Melon Heads. Roaming the back roads of Connecticut are creatures both tragic and terrifying, the Melon Heads. These small humanoid beings are said to have oversized bulbous heads, their grotesque appearance the result of cruel experimentation or dark supernatural forces. According to local lore, the Melon Heads were once human, possibly children subjected to horrific experiments at an asylum deep in the woods. After escaping, they took refuge in the forest, turning feral over time. Others believe they are an inbred, secretive clan that has lived in isolation for generations. Sightings often occur on remote roads, with drivers reporting eerie figures darting between trees, glowing eyes peering from the darkness. Whether a tale born from real encounters or an exaggerated ghost story, one thing is certain: few dare to seek the Melon Heads once night falls. Delaware, the Zwaanendael Merman. In the coastal waters of Delaware, an eerie legend persists, that of the Zwaanendael Merman. This bizarre, humanoid sea creature is said to be part man, part fish, with sharp teeth, webbed hands, and an unsettling, human-like stare. The tale dates back to the early 1600s when Dutch settlers in the Zwaanendael colony reported seeing strange aquatic beings lurking near the shores. Some believe they were spirits of drowned sailors, cursed to remain between the worlds of the living and the dead. Modern-day accounts tell of shadowy figures seen beneath the waves, strange noises echoing from the depths, and a chilling sense of being watched while near the water. Whether myth or reality, the mystery of the Zwaanendael Merman still haunts Delaware's shores. Florida, the Skunk Ape. Deep in the swamps of Florida lurks a creature that has terrified locals for generations, the skunk ape, Similar to Bigfoot, but smaller and more aggressive, this hairy, foul-smelling beast is said to roam the Everglades, leaving behind enormous footprints and a pungent odor that lingers long after it disappears. Reports of the skunk ape date back to the 1800s, with Native American tribes describing a man of the swamp who could vanish into trees at will. The legend gained national attention in the 1970s when a series of photographs surfaced, showing a towering ape-like creature peering through the brush. Skeptics dismissed it as a hoax, but for those who've seen its glowing red eyes in the darkness, there is no doubt the skunk ape is real. Some believe it as a reclusive primate, an evolutionary offshoot of Gigantopithecus, while others claim it as a spirit of the swamp, appearing as a warning before hurricanes or other disasters. Whether beast or legend, one thing is certain: venture too deep into the Everglades, and you may smell the skunk ape before you ever see it. Georgia, Altamaha-Ha. Beneath the waters of Georgia's Altamaha River slithers a creature that has haunted fishermen and sailors for centuries. Known as the Altamaha-Ha, or Alti, this massive serpent-like beast is said to have a long, coiling body ridged along its spine with a head resembling a sturgeon or crocodile. Local Native American legends speak of a great water spirit dwelling in the river, capable of capsizing boats and luring the unsuspecting into the depths. Reports of Alti intensified in the 20th century when fishermen describing an eerie wake trailing behind an unseen force or dark shapes moving just beneath the surface. Skeptics argue that sightings could be misidentified manatees, alligator gars, or even logs caught in the current. But for those who claim to have seen the beast rise from the water, its yellow eyes gleaming in the moonlight, no amount of logic can erase the fear of what lurks beneath the surface. Hawaii, the Mo'o. In the lush jungles and hidden pools of Hawaii, ancient guardians known as the Mo'o are said to dwell. These giant, shape-shifting lizards are believed to be powerful spirits, protectors of sacred waters, and enforcers of divine justice. Hawaiian folklore tells of the Mo'o appearing as beautiful women to test the hearts of travelers. Those who respect the land and its traditions are rewarded, while those who act with greed or disrespect face their wrath, often vanishing without a trace. Some legends describe Mo'o as enormous, black-scaled creatures, their eyes glowing like embers as they slither through the waterfalls and lava tubes. While some dismiss Mo'o as myth, others claim that strange disappearances near certain ponds and caves point to something more. Whether spiritual protectors or lingering echoes of a forgotten past, the Mo'o remain one of Hawaii's most revered and feared cryptids. Idaho, Sharlie. Deep within the cold waters of Piat Lake, a mysterious creature has been sighted for over a century. Known as Sharlie, this massive serpent-like being is said to resemble the legendary Nessie, with dark, scaly skin and a long, undulating body. The first documented sighting occurred in the 1920s, when loggers claimed to see an immense creature swimming beneath their rafts. Over the years, more reports followed, with some witnesses describing humps rising above the water, while others swore they saw the head of a prehistoric beast breaking the surface. Skeptics argue that Sharlie could be a sturgeon or a massive eel, but the sheer number of sightings suggest otherwise. Whether a cryptid, an undiscovered species, or simply a trick of the light, Sharlie remains one of Idaho's greatest mysteries, drawing curious seekers to the lake's misty shores. Illinois, the Enfield Horror. On a quiet night in 1973, the small town of Enfield, Illinois became the site of one of the strangest cryptid encounters in American history. That night, a resident named Henry McDaniel claimed to see a bizarre creature scratching at his door. What he described sent chills through the town, a three-legged beast with glowing red eyes, grayish skin, and short arms ending in talon-like claws. McDaniel fired at the creature, but it moved with unnatural speed, covering vast distances in just a few leaps before vanishing into the darkness. Other residents reported similar encounters, describing an eerie screech and claw marks left at their homes. Some believe the Enfield horror was an extraterrestrial or an experiment gone wrong, while skeptics suggest it was nothing more than a misidentified animal. Whatever the case, after a few weeks of terrorizing the town, the creature disappeared as mysteriously as it had arrived, leaving behind only the whispers of those who had seen it. Indiana, the Beast of Busco. In the quiet town of Busco, Indiana, a legend lurks beneath the waters of Falk Lake. Known as the Beast of Busco, this enormous snapping turtle is said to be the size of a car, with a shell so thick that bullets bounce off of it. The first major sighting occurred in 1949 when a farmer named Gail Harris claimed to have seen the monstrous turtle surface from the lake. News of the sighting spread, drawing hunters, divers, and even television crews, all hoping to capture the beast. Despite multiple attempts, including a diving expedition and a plan to drain the lake, the Beast of Busco remained elusive, evading every effort to confirm its existence. Skeptics argue that such a turtle could not grow to such massive proportions, but believers insist that deep in the lake's murky depths, the Beast of Busco still waits, hidden from prying eyes. Iowa, the Van Meter Visitor. In 1903, the small town of Van Meter, Iowa, was gripped by terror when a strange winged creature descended from the night sky. Described as half bird, half reptile with a horn on its head that emitted an eerie light, this beast was unlike anything the townsfolk had ever seen. Witnesses claimed it moved with unnatural speed, scaling buildings and disappearing into an abandoned mine outside of town. Attempts to shoot it proved futile, as bullets seemingly bounced off its impenetrable skin. After several nights of terrorizing the town, the creature vanished into the mine, never to be seen again. Some speculate it was an alien or an undiscovered species. Others believe the mine still holds the key to its origin. Whatever the truth, the Van Meter Visitor remains one of Iowa's most chilling mysteries. Kansas, Sinkhole Sam. Deep within the Kansas countryside, a strange creature known as Sinkhole Sam is said to dwell in the vast subterranean tunnels that wind beneath the land. Described as a large reptilian creature with a spiked back, Sam is believed to have been living in the area for generations. Local legends claim that Sinkhole Sam was once a human, transformed by dark magic into a monstrous creature. The creature's eerie appearance, foul-smelling with the eyes that glow in the dark, has led many to speculate that Sam is a guardian of the underground, protecting the secrets of the earth. Sightings of Sinkhole Sam are rare, but those who have claimed to have encountered it describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the earth itself is alive and watching. Kentucky, the Kentucky Goblins. In 1955, a rural farmhouse in Hopkinsville, Kentucky became the site of one of the most bizarre cryptid encounters in history. That night, a family claimed they were besieged by small glowing-eyed creatures with elongated limbs and spindly fingers. These goblin-like creatures, described as silvery-skinned with large pointed ears, allegedly floated rather than walked, evading bullets fired by the terrified family. After hours, the creatures vanished into the darkness, never harming anyone, but leaving an air of mystery behind. Some speculate the goblins were extraterrestrial visitors, while others believe they may be interdimensional beings. Whatever the case, the legend of the Kentucky Goblins endures, with sporadic sightings still reported in the Appalachian wilderness. Louisiana, Rougarou. A terrifying creature from Cajun folklore, the Rougarou is a wolf-like beast said to prowl the swamps and forests of Louisiana. Described as a werewolf-like creature with glowing red eyes and a thick coat of fur, the Rougarou is believed to be a cursed human who transforms into a beast as punishment for violating a sacred vow. The legend of the Rougarou dates back to the French settlers in the 18th century who brought the story of the loup-garou with them to the bayous. Those who break the rules of the Rougarou's curse are said to be hunted down by the creature, which has a particular thirst for blood. While some believe the Rougarou is a mere story used to frighten children, others claim to have encountered the creature, and sightings of a large wolf-like figure have been reported throughout the state. Whether myth or reality, the Rougarou remains a prominent part of Louisiana's folklore. Maine, the Spectre Moose. Deep in the dense forest of Maine, a creature known as the Spectre Moose has been spotted by few, but those who have seen it describe it as something far more supernatural than just a large moose. Standing over 10 feet tall with glowing red eyes and a misty body, the Spectre Moose is said to appear at the edges of the woods, silently observing those who pass by. The Spectre Moose is believed to be a spirit of the forest, a guardian of the wilderness that appears only to those who are lost or in need of guidance. Sightings of the creature are rare, but the few who have claimed to encounter it describe a sense of peace and calm, as if the moose was there to guide them safely through the forest. Others, however, believe the Spectre Moose is an omen, a sign of impending death or disaster. Whether seen as a protector or harbinger, the Spectre Moose remains one of Maine's most intriguing and mysterious cryptids. Maryland, Snallygaster. In the Appalachian Mountains of Maryland, a terrifying creature known as the Snallygaster has haunted locals for centuries. Described as a monstrous bird-like creature with a beak filled with sharp teeth, the Snallygaster is said to terrorize the countryside, swooping down to snatch livestock and occasionally attacking humans. The Snallygaster's origins can be traced back to the early 18th century when German immigrants brought tales of a similar creature from their homeland. The legend grew in the 19th century with reports of sightings coming from rural Maryland. The creature is said to have a fearsome screech and a thirst for blood, and many claim the Snallygaster is responsible for the unexplained disappearances of both animals and people. Skeptics dismiss the stories as exaggerations or folklore, but some residents still claim to hear the creature's crying echoes through the night. Whether fact or fiction, the Snallygaster remains a part of Maryland's cultural history. Massachusetts, the Dover Demon. In 1977, the quiet town of Dover, Massachusetts was shaken by a series of bizarre encounters with a strange creature known as the Dover Demon. Described as a small humanoid being with glowing orange eyes and a large bald head, the Dover Demon was first sighted by a group of teenagers who claimed to have seen the creature crossing the road. Over the following days, more sightings followed, with witnesses describing the creature's long, spindly limbs and unnerving movements. Though some believe the Dover Demon was simply a case of mistaken identity or a hoax, others argue that it was a creature from another dimension, or even an extraterrestrial visitor. The Dover Demon remains a mysterious part of Massachusetts folklore, and sightings of the strange creatures continue to intrigue those with an interest in the paranormal. Michigan, the Dogman. Michigan's most infamous cryptid, the Dogman, is a terrifying creature that has been reported throughout the state for generations. Described as a large, wolf-like creature with the ability to walk on two legs, the Dogman is said to have glowing eyes, sharp claws, and a ferocious howl that echoes through the forest. The first reported sighting of the Dogman occurred in 1887, when a group of lumberjacks claimed to have seen a strange creature stalking them in the woods. Since then, hundreds of sightings have been reported, and the creature has become a staple of Michigan's cryptid lore. Some believe that the Dogman is a supernatural being, while others claim it as a creature left over from prehistoric times. Whether it's a ghostly manifestation or a real flesh-and-blood predator, the Dogman remains one of Michigan's most elusive and terrifying creatures. Minnesota, the Wendigo. In the icy forests of Minnesota, the legend of the Wendigo chills even the bravest souls. Rooted in ancient folklore, the Wendigo is a towering, emaciated creature with glowing eyes, skeletal limbs, and an insatiable hunger for human flesh. It's said to have once been a person, driven to cannibalism by the harsh winter, cursed to roam the woods forever in monstrous form. Stories of the Wendigo date back centuries, told around fires during brutal winters. It embodies the fear of isolation, starvation, and what happens when humanity is lost. Witnesses claim to have seen it stalking the tree line, heard its bone-chilling screeches echoing through snow-covered pines. Some say it's a metaphor for greed and survival gone too far. Others swear it's real, waiting in the dark woods for the next soul desperate enough to become like it. Whatever the truth, the Wendigo remains one of Minnesota's most terrifying legends. Mississippi, Pascagoula River aliens. In 1973, Mississippi became the center of one of the most bizarre alien encounters in U.S. history. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were fishing on the Pascagoula River when a strange craft descended nearby. From it emerged three beings, wrinkled, gray-skinned creatures with carrot-like noses, claw-like hands, and no eyes. Paralyzed with fear, the men were floated into the ship where they were examined, then returned to the riverbank. They ran to the sheriff, visibly shaken. Lie detector tests and hypnosis confirmed their sincerity. The men never profited from their story. They just wanted answers. Skeptics call it a hallucination or hoax, but neither man ever changed his story, even decades later. The Pascagoula encounter remains one of the most credible alien abduction cases ever recorded, and a haunting mystery still unanswered. Missouri, Momo, the monster. In the early 1970s, Louisiana, Missouri, was gripped by panic. Children claimed to have seen a monstrous 7-foot-tall beast covered in hair with glowing orange eyes. They called it Momo, the Missouri Monster. Unlike Bigfoot, Momo was said to have a putrid smell and carried a dead dog under one arm. It was seen multiple times on the edge of town, always vanishing into the woods before anyone could catch it. Frightened families kept kids inside, and armed posses searched the area, but Momo was never found. Some believe it was a hoax or misidentified animal. Others think it was something more, perhaps a creature not from this world, glimpsed in the twilight. Today, Momo is a local legend, but those who saw it know it was real. Montana, Shunka-Warakin. The Shunka-Warakin is a beast of Native American and pioneer legend said to roam the plains and mountains of Montana. Described as a wolf-hyena hybrid with an eerie, almost human-like howl, it's been blamed for livestock mutilations and vanishing travelers. One of the most famous encounters occurred in the 1880s when settlers shot and killed a strange animal near Madison River. Its carcass was displayed for years, then mysteriously vanished. Descriptions matched the Shunka-Warakin exactly. Dark fur, sloped back, and a face that didn't match any known species. Modern sightings continue, often accompanied by livestock killings and strange cries in the night. Is it an undiscovered predator? Or something far more ancient and dangerous, still stalking Montana's wild terrain? Nebraska, a Kali Lake monster. In the desolate sandhills of Nebraska lies a Kali Lake, home to a creature that few have seen but none forget. Described as a massive alligator-like beast with a horned snout and glowing eyes, it's said to dwell in the shallow, algae-rich waters and emerge only at dusk. First reported in the 1920s, the monster supposedly attacked livestock and terrified anyone who got too close to the lake. Some believe it's a relic from prehistoric times, a giant reptile that survived extinction by hiding in the region's isolated water systems. Despite no confirmed evidence, stories persist. Locals speak of rippling water with nothing in sight, strange roars, and an eerie silence where birds refuse to sing. Whether myth or monster, the Alkali Lake creature haunts the heart of Nebraska folklore. Nevada, Tahoe-Tessie. Nestled in the deep blue waters of Lake Tahoe, a serpentine creature known as Tahoe Tessie has been spotted for centuries. Native Washoe legend tells of a great water being that lived beneath the lake, protecting it from outsiders and punishing those who disrespect nature. Modern sightings describe a creature 30 to 60 feet long with undulating movements and sleek dark skin. Boaters claim to have seen massive humps break the surface, only to disappear in seconds. Sonar scans have picked up strange shapes in the lake's depths, far too large to be a fish. Some believe Tessie is a plesiosaur, a remnant from a forgotten age. Others think it's a clever illusion created by wave patterns or underwater tunnels. But those who've looked into the deep, cold waters of Lake Tahoe swear something is watching, waiting. New Hampshire, the Wood Devils. In the remote forests of New Hampshire's White Mountains, an elusive creature known as the Wood Devil is said to stalk the shadows. Described as tall, gaunt, and covered in light gray hair, these beings are known more for their stealth than their savagery. Witnesses say they stand motionless against tree trunks when approached, blending into the forest like a chameleon. They travel silently, watching hikers from a distance, vanishing in an instant if discovered. The legend has persisted since the early 20th century, with sightings clustered around logging camps and remote cabins. Some think they're forest spirits, others believe they're remnants of an ancient primate species. Whatever the case, hikers in New Hampshire are often warned. If you go into the woods, you're being watched. New Jersey, the Blue Hole Monster. In the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, a mysterious crystal-clear pool known as the Blue Hole hides something unnatural beneath its calm surface. Swimmers have long reported being pulled under by unseen forces, and a strange creature is rumored to lurk in the deep. Described as a sleek, dark serpent or humanoid figure with gills and glowing eyes, the Blue Hole Monster has been blamed for drownings and sudden disappearances. Local legend claims it only comes out on the hottest days, when people seek relief in the inviting, ice-cold water. Some connect it to the nearby Jersey Devil. Others say it's a completely separate entity, a guardian of cursed waters. Whatever it is, the Blue Hole is no ordinary swimming hole. Enter its waters at your own risk. New Mexico, the Territorn. Soaring over the high deserts of New Mexico is a beast pulled from prehistoric nightmares, the Territorn. Believed by some to be a surviving relative of ancient giant birds, this creature has a wingspan over 20 feet and is said to resemble a monstrous condor or vulture. Reports date back to Native American legends and continue through early settlers. Farmers have reported livestock being snatched from the ground, and hikers describe a shadow blocking out the sun as the bird circles above. One famous 1970s sighting even included a photograph, now long lost. Skeptics chalk it up to large eagles or misidentified planes, but believers argue the terrain is perfect for a creature to survive undetected. In the land of mesas and open skies, maybe, just maybe, something ancient still flies. New York, Champ. In the depths of Lake Champlain, a legendary lake monster known as Champ has been making waves for centuries. Described as a long-necked serpentine creature, often compared to the Loch Ness Monster, Champ has been spotted by thousands of witnesses on both the New York and Vermont sides of the lake. Native American lore speaks of a giant water serpent guarding the lake. The first European settlers began reporting sightings in the 1800s. With some even capturing photos and sonar readings showing enormous shapes beneath the surface. Skeptics blame sturgeons or floating logs, but the consistency of the sightings by tourists, fishermen, even police keep curiosity alive. Whether you believe in Champ or not, Lake Champlain remains one of America's most famous monster-infested waters. North Carolina, Beast of Bladenboro. In 1954, the small town of Bladenboro, North Carolina was gripped by fear. Livestock were found mutilated, drained of blood, with broken jaws and crushed skulls. The culprit? A mysterious predator locals began calling the Beast of Bladenboro. Witnesses described a large cat-like creature with long fangs, glowing eyes, and an unnatural silence when it moved. Armed search parties combed the woods, but nothing was ever captured. The attack suddenly stopped, but the legend stuck. Some believe the beast was a panther or escaped exotic animal. Others say it was something supernatural, a vampiric creature or shapeshifter. Today, Bladenboro holds an annual Beast Fest, celebrating the strange events of that winter. But for some, it's a reminder that the monster might still be out there. North Dakota, the Thunderbird. On the wide plains and storm-swept skies of North Dakota, the legend of the Thunderbird takes flight. Rooted in Native American mythology, these massive birds are said to summon lightning with the flap of their wings and carry off large animals, or even people. In the 1800s and early 1900s, ranchers and settlers began reporting sightings, gigantic bird-like shadows soaring overhead, sometimes with wingspans up to 20 feet. One report from the 1890s claims that a cowboy even shot and killed one, describing it as featherless with leathery wings, more like a pterodactyl than an eagle. Skeptics suggest mistaken identity, but believers point to consistent stories from different tribes and generations. In North Dakota, when thunder rolls and lightning cracks across the prairie sky, some say the Thunderbird is still soaring above. Ohio, the Loveland Frogman. The Loveland Frogman is one of Ohio's strangest and most enduring legends. First reported in the 1950s near the Little Miami River in Loveland, witnesses described a humanoid creature around 4 feet tall, amphibious, leathery-skinned, and with the face of a frog. But it gets weirder. One of the earliest reports claims the creature held a wand that emitted sparks. Later, in 1972, a police officer reported seeing a similar creature leap over a guardrail and into the river. Days later, another officer encountered it and allegedly shot at it. Whether a mutant, alien, escaped experiment, or elaborate hoax, the Loveland Frogman continues to appear in modern pop culture, and in the dreams of those who dare to walk the riverbanks at night. Oklahoma, the Oklahoma octopus. Fresh water and tentacles don't usually go together, but in Oklahoma, the legend of a giant freshwater octopus says otherwise. Said to inhabit lakes like Thunderbird, Ogallala, and Tenkiller, this beast is rumored to be the size of a horse with reddish skin and long, powerful limbs. It's blamed for a high number of unexplained drownings. Swimmers vanish without a trace, with no signs of a struggle. Some locals claim to have seen massive shadows beneath the surface, while others describe slimy tentacles brushing against their legs before they fled in terror. Scientists say an octopus couldn't survive in fresh water, but legends persist. Whether it's an undiscovered species or something supernatural, the Oklahoma octopus has made people think twice before diving into those murky waters. Oregon, colossal clawed. Since the 1930s, sailors along the Oregon coast have whispered tales of a sea monster called colossal clawed. First spotted near the mouth of the Columbia River, this massive serpent-like creature is said to be 40 feet long, with a snake-like head, barnacled skin, and a lurching, eel-like movement through the waves. A crew aboard a Columbia River lightship in 1934 reported seeing Claude approach their vessel, bobbing its head and watching them. Others say he's been seen chasing fish near shores or weaving between rocky outcrops during storms. Skeptics say sea lions or optical illusions are to blame, but even to the 1980s, sightings continued. Today, Claude lives on in local lore, artwork, and even a namesake beer. But those who work the seas still glance over their shoulders when the fog rolls in, just in case. Pennsylvania, the squonk. Deep in the forests of northern Pennsylvania hides one of the strangest and saddest cryptids in folklore, the squonk. This small, warty creature is said to be so hideous that it's constantly weeping from shame. Covered in sagging, blemished skin and drooping features, the squonk avoids all contact. First documented in 1910, lumberjacks claimed the squonk could be tracked by the trail of tears it left behind. But here's the twist. If captured, the squonk reportedly dissolves into a puddle of tears and bubbles. That's how much it loathes being seen. Many believe it's a humorous fable, a creature born of campfire jokes and tall tales, but others swear they've heard its mournful sobs echoing through the pines. In a world full of monsters, the squonk stands out, not as something to fear, but to pity. Rhode Island, the Block Ness Monster. Yes, you heard that right. Block Ness Monster. Not Scotland, but Block Island, just off the coast of Rhode Island, has its own lake monster legend. Locals tell stories of a long-necked, dark-scaled creature swimming just offshore, seen mostly in the 1800s and early 1900s by fishermen and tourists. Descriptions are oddly familiar: a serpentine body, multiple humps, and eerie movements under the surface. Theories range from misidentified seals to surviving sea reptiles, or even a cousin from the Loch Ness Monster having migrated across the ocean. Today, the Block Ness Monster doesn't get as much spotlight, but those familiar with the island's history still look twice at the water, especially when the waves roll just a little too smooth and something slips beneath. South Carolina, the Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp. In 1988, a teenager in Lee County, South Carolina, made headlines when he claimed a scaly green creature with glowing red eyes attacked his car near Scape Ore Swamp. Soon, more reports followed, sightings of a 7-foot-tall bipedal reptilian creature tearing through fences and scratching vehicles. Dubbed the Lizard Man, this cryptid caused a media frenzy. Police even found new claw marks and mysterious footprints in the area. While skeptics called it a hoax or misidentified animal, many locals stood by their stories. Some believe it's a government experiment gone wrong. Others say it's a creature from underground caverns, or even another dimension. Whether monster, mutant, or myth, the Lizard Man has slithered into South Carolina's folklore for good. South Dakota, the Taku-Hi. In the remote prairies and badlands of South Dakota, a towering creature known as the Taku-Hi is said to roam. Described as a massive hair-covered humanoid similar to Bigfoot, but with more aggressive behavior, the Taku-Hi has deep roots in Lakota Sioux tradition and early settler stories. The name means big beast or unknown creature, and reports go back generations. Witness described a foul stench, glowing eyes, and heavy thundering footsteps. Unlike the more elusive Bigfoot, the Taku-Hi is known for startling livestock, ripping through fences, and leaving behind enormous footprints. Some modern researchers believe these sightings could stem from misidentified bears or local legends, but for many in South Dakota, the Taku-Hi is very real. Hunters and hikers still tell stories of something big lurking just out of sight, especially when the wind howls through the badlands at night. Tennessee, the Wampus Cat. Half woman, half cat, and all vengeance, the Wampus Cat of Tennessee has roots in Cherokee legend. The story goes that a woman curious about sacred tribal rituals disguised herself as a cougar to spy on a ceremony. Cursed for her intrusion, she was transformed into a creature doomed to wander forever, part feline, part human, with glowing eyes and a piercing scream. Others say the Wampus Cat is a protector spirit, defending forests and sacred lands. Modern sightings describe a large cat-like creature with supernatural speed and intelligence. Hunters, campers, and even military personnel have reported eerie growls and glowing eyes deep in the woods. It's a creature of cautionary tales, but some say she's still watching, waiting, and guarding the places where old spirits roam. Texas, the Chupacabra. The infamous Chupacabra, goatsucker in Spanish, first rose to fame in Puerto Rico, but it didn't take long to show up in Texas. Known for draining livestock's blood, this cryptid has two versions: the spiny-backed, alien-looking beast of early reports, and the more canine, hairless creature seen across the Southwest. In Texas, ranchers have found mutilated goats and cattle with strange puncture wounds and no blood left behind. Some have even been captured on camera, canine in shape but with odd proportions, bluish skin, and behaviors no known predators display. Biologists claim they're sick coyotes or dogs with mange, but believers argue the precision of the wounds and absence of blood defy logic. Is the Chupacabra a vampire beast, a genetic anomaly, or something even weirder still stalking the Texan countryside? Utah, the Bear Lake Monster. Since the 1800s, tales of a huge serpent-like creature lurking in Bear Lake, Utah have thrilled and terrified residents. Early Mormon pioneers shared Native American legends about a massive aquatic beast, some claiming it had the body of a snake, the head of a cow, and limbs like flippers. Sightings spiked in the late 19th century, with reports of a creature chasing swimmers, overturning boats, or just gliding silently beneath the surface. A newspaper editor even admitted to fabricating some stories, yet the legend didn't die. Sightings continued, including modern-day visitors and locals. Whether it's an undiscovered animal, misidentified waves, or a really good fish story, the Bear Lake Monster remains a fixture of Utah folklore and a reason to look twice before jumping in. Vermont, the Pigman of Northfield. In the quiet town of Northfield, Vermont, there's a legend that chills to the bone. The Pigman. Described as a creature with the body of a man and the head of a pig, this cryptid allegedly roams the woods, especially near an old railway tunnel. The story traces back to 1951 when a local teenager named Sam Harris vanished on Halloween night. Days later, sightings began. A pale, human-shaped figure with coarse hair, glowing eyes, and a grotesque pig's face was seen scavenging, stalking, and even growling at curious teens. Some believe it's Sam himself, cursed or transformed. Others think it's a feral human, or something inhuman, wearing a pig's skull. To this day, locals warn, don't go near the Devil's Washbowl after dark, unless you want to meet the Pigman yourself. Virginia, the Bunny Man. In Fairfax County, Virginia, the legend of the Bunny Man is as bizarre as it is terrifying. The story began in 1970. A man in a rabbit costume was reportedly seen lurking near a railroad overpass, known as the Bunny Man Bridge. He chased people with an axe and yelled about trespassing. But the legend goes deeper. Some say an asylum escapee hid in the woods, dressing in rabbit fur and surviving by hunting. Others tell of ritual sacrifices, missing persons, and ghostly screams echoing from the bridge. Truth or urban myth, one thing is certain. The Bunny Man has become a cultural icon in Virginia, inspiring horror films, books, and local ghost tours. Just don't linger too long at that bridge on Halloween night. Washington, Bigfoot. No list of American cryptids is complete without Bigfoot, and Washington State is ground zero. With more reported sightings than anywhere else in the U.S., the dense misty forests of the Pacific Northwest seem tailor-made for hiding something massive and mysterious. Described as an 8-foot-tall, hairy humanoid with immense strength and a piercing howl, Bigfoot has been part of Native American folklore for centuries. In modern times, hikers, hunters, and campers have reported footprints, strange howls, and even fleeting glimpses of a towering figure vanishing into the trees. Despite countless investigations, no one has captured definitive proof, but believers continue to search, and if Bigfoot is real, there's no better place to hide than Washington's endless wilderness. West Virginia, the Grafton Monster. Just a few hours south of Mothman territory lies another chilling cryptid, the Grafton Monster. First sighted in 1965 near Grafton, West Virginia, this creature is described as massive, over 7 feet tall, with pale, smooth skin, no visible head, and a hulking, human-like form. Witnesses reported it silently stalking roadsides and vanishing into the woods. One theory suggests its head is hidden within its shoulders. Others believe it's interdimensional or alien in origin. Some even link it to the Men in Black, who allegedly harassed reporters trying to publish stories. The Grafton Monster faded from headlines, but never from local memory. To this day, its presence lingers in eerie silence on moonlit back roads. Wisconsin, the Hodag. In Rhinelander, Wisconsin, the Hodag is more than a legend, it's a local mascot. But this beast's origins are anything but cuddly. First discovered in the 1890s, the Hodag was said to be a fearsome creature with horns, claws, and a spiny back. It supposedly emerged from the remains of a cremated ox and had a taste for bulldogs. Photos were even taken of the beast, though later revealed as a hoax using taxidermy tricks. Still, stories of a real Hodag continued. Some described a lizard-like creature with glowing eyes and a stench of death. Others say it haunts the woods, laughing menacingly before disappearing into the trees. Today, the Hodag is Rhinelander's pride, but deep in the woods, who knows what really inspired the legend. Wyoming, the Jackalope. Part jackrabbit, part antelope, and all mischief, the jackalope is Wyoming's favorite cryptid. Said to be lightning fast and capable of mimicking human voices, these horned hares have been spotted across the state, usually in bars, ranches, and roadside tales. Originating in 1930s folklore, the jackalope became the symbol of frontier trickery. Cowboys claim they'd hear the creature singing along with their campfire songs. Is it real? Likely not, but the jackalope captures the wild spirit of Wyoming, where the line between myth and reality is as wide as the prairie sky.